Hi, everybody. It's Kristina Dennis, and it's Monday afternoon. Well, almost afternoon. I think I'm a few minutes away from being afternoon. I want to show you my fabulous roots today. I have no energy to work on this hair, or I'm just choosing not to. I'm not sure. But I wanted to come in and talk about a Mindful Monday. And let me see if I can fix this. You would think I do this before, but I don't know. I get a little too tired. I'm just going to put my glasses on because I can't really see myself. Yeah, that's not any better. I don't think I want to see myself. All right, I'm going to take them off. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I know it's Veterans Day, and there's a lot of really respectful things that are going on right now in our country to honor people that have given the ultimate price for freedom and for things that we all take for granted. And so I want to honor them. Let me see, how does this work? Honor them and say thank you right off the top of my head. And then I want to talk a little bit about how to handle bullying. And I have to say that I've been really blessed over the last 5 years to have people around me that I love, and to surround myself with like-minded people, or people that are kind of in search of being better versions of themselves and holding themselves to a better standard. But I dipped my toe into a situation over the weekend that I was blindsided. I had no idea, although I had heard about it, that people were so venomous. I made a comment about a post that someone had posted, and her comments about parents who choose not to vaccinate their children, or I don't know, they call anti-vaxxers. And I guess a lot of people would consider me an anti-vaxxer, although I think that that name is incorrect. And so I'm going to say that out loud and put it out there that, you know, people who question the safety of vaccinations, or who have experienced a vaccine injury like myself and my son, you know, we are not anti-vaccination most of the time, but we are concerned about the schedule, and we are concerned about the lack of research and the denial when there's actual vaccine injury payout documented, showing over $4 billion have been paid out to people who've been injured. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I had mentioned in this post, wasn't demonizing anybody's position. She was absolutely venomous toward people who didn't vaccinate. And I said, you know, exactly this. Please understand that there are parents out there of children who've been vaccine injured before you say these things. Or I wasn't ready for the onslaught of anger that came at me. I was told to shut up multiple times. I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was uneducated, that my favorite, and I did post this and maybe I shouldn't have, but I was actually just taken back. I wasn't expecting this kind of behavior, where I was told that she said, you know, you're uneducated, you have no right to say anything, something like that. And obviously you have no problem with Botox. You are a fan, seems to me, what's the difference between Botox and vaccinations? Hashtag hypocrite. And I didn't respond to her directly, because there's a big difference between injecting a live virus into a small baby and as an adult making a choice to put something in your skin. But the funny part about it was that I haven't had Botox in years. And so I took it kind of as a compliment because I am 50, and she obviously went on my page and decided that she thought, due to Photoshop or something, hi Geraldine, that perhaps that was what I had partaked in. So it hurt me. It would surprise me. It kind of took my breath away a little bit. I was like cold water splashed on my face, that people would speak to other people that they don't even know in this manner. And I guess I had a little bit of a wake-up call, realizing how polarizing everything is right now. And maybe it isn't so polarizing. Maybe that hasn't changed so much in our country or in our world, but maybe our access to other people's opinions and our courage behind keyboards allows us to say things that we would never say to people if our face was attached to it, or if we were saying it face to face or being recorded. I don't know. I've never experienced that where somebody was so hateful. The person went on to my page and continued to speak about me and say that I refused to tell my son's story and I was hiding behind some, I think her quotations was some vague term, and I should tell my story about my son's injury. And I wanted to respond in anger. I really did, but I didn't. I knew that was like playing with a toxic person and I wasn't going to win. And somebody else responded on behalf of the Vaccine Injury Fund, sharing that, nobody has to share their story. My whole point was that it's a very complicated issue and that we really need to approach it with more kindness. And that was not at all the opinion of the many that were involved in this group chat. So I'm sitting here on a Monday. That was Sunday morning I woke up to, and I was just taken back. And I'm sitting here on a Monday with a little bit of an emotional hangover, sad about the way that it was all handled, questioning, what word I used that was inflammatory, surprised at the way people respond, and just living with that emotional hangover of what that feels like and how do I move beyond it. Because it's real easy to get angry and want to respond in anger. And it's that there's a lot of, power in that. But I know that that's not going to make me feel any better. I'll have a belly full of anger and I'll feel yucky for lashing or retaliating or lashing back. And if I'm being, completely transparent, I'm not the kind of person that doesn't affect and it doesn't stir up trauma and make me feel yucky that people responded so angrily toward me. And it gave me a little bit of sadness, because where do people like me go when we've had this happen to our children? And who do we talk to about it? And how do we get help or support? So I wanted to just come in and share honestly and openly about my Mindful Monday, how I am in a position of thinking about how I need to behave, being more careful about posting. I did respond to the person who told me to shut up and say, I will never shut up. And I won't. When it comes to our babies and questioning things and asking, is that safe? Does this work? I'm going to share my experiences forever. And one of the reasons why I don't share a lot of Billy's story is because it's Billy's story. It's not mine. And I never want that to be in a permanent record for him to run across. So to the person that thought I was hiding, I've shared it many, many times on a public stage and with a lot of people. And I'll continue to reach out to plenty of people about going slow and taking your time and honoring yourself and honoring your children. But I won't be galled into saying anything publicly, especially in that arena where there obviously was so much venom and anger. And so I am going to take the day to take care of myself and to send a lot of love and light to a lot of people. Interestingly enough, Saturday, when I was at Costco doing my day job, or my job that I finance my dreams with, there was a woman who came up to talk about the mirrors. I was repping mirrors this weekend. And she had a younger son who was probably 9 or 10, and he was in the basket. And I could tell immediately that he was on the spectrum. And he was standing up, which was scary. And he was hollering, and he had stuck his hands down his pants, and she was trying to get him to stop. And I said, oh, is your son living with autism? And she said, yeah. And I said, mine too. My Billy is too. And she immediately looked at me and she said, "It's so hard." And so I felt really good about being able to say to her, "It is, but it gets better," because Billy's 15 now and this boy was a lot younger. It gets better, honey. It gets better. They get calmer. And tears immediately sprung into her eyes. And I said, "It's okay. He's doing great and you're doing great." And if there was one message that I would like to send out about autism, it wouldn't be about the vaccination and the hatred that's being spread or the ugly stories about the AIDS. I mean, there was a story today about a Texas teacher assaulting a special needs student. It wouldn't be about any of that, although that is truly something we need to address. It would be to the parent or the mother who's just trying to live her life out in a Costco or a store, to show compassion and to let her know that that her baby's doing just fine and that she's doing just fine and that we're there for her and she doesn't have to worry about who that child's disturbing. I get to watch it on a daily basis in Costco where people on the spectrum are, moaning or walking by, and watch people's eyes roll or look sideways. So I feel like it's really important for me to share what that feels like. We see it, and the kids hear you. So I didn't expect to cry. Thank you, Geraldine, for being here in that hard. I appreciate it. I'm going to just take care of myself, and I'm going to surround myself with love. And as always, if you're struggling, be honest and share. Be loving toward yourself, be loving toward others. And we'll just make it a better place, one by one relationship by one relationship. And I will put to bed the ugly Botox comments, although I still take it as a compliment. It means I look good. Because if I could afford to do something, I might. And I will tell everybody in this world that Billy is the best thing that ever happened to me, even though it's hard. And we are here to love each other, no matter what. So everybody have a good Mindful Monday. I'm going to go wipe my face off, and I will check back in.